I was paid $10,000 to purchase this apartment building. Yes, that's right. Not only did I pay $0 out of pocket, I actually walked away with cash. I was able to buy this income-generating property for nothing and was actually paid at closing. I'm not talking about 100% financing. No, this was $0 out of my pocket to close with cash back on a less than 80% LTV property, period. So in this video, I will show you how I did it so you can do it yourself. Hello and welcome to Stephen Carlson Show. I'm Stephen Carlson. I'm a tech entrepreneur, real estate investor, YouTuber, author, and volunteer paramedic. As many of you know, I live in Northern Virginia. However, in a few years, I wish to retire early and move a little further up north. Yeah, I know. Many people decide to retire and move south, but I like the cold. And so do my Siberian Huskies, Bonnie and Clyde. Now with this in mind, I've been researching properties in Anchorage, Alaska. Yes, I'm pretty sure that qualifies as both north and as cold. Anyways, I was looking for properties, both for cash flow investments to grow my net worth, but also vacant land that I can build my dream retirement house on. Now, the investment properties needed to meet very specific goals for my needs. They couldn't be too new, as I would be paying a hefty premium to purchase them. They also couldn't be too old, as it would require too much cash and time upfront invested first. Now, because I do not plan on moving there for at least another 2 years, the property needed to be one that I could easily put a property manager on to handle the day-to-day aspects. This is especially important to me because Virginia is 4,300 miles away, and that's a little bit of a long drive just to replace a stove and a unit or something. Then, finally, of course, it needed to be priced below what it was actually worth. Now, with my list of requirements, I started searching, and after months of searching for properties and submitting some offers that were all rejected, I finally found the perfect investment property. It was a small, fully rented 7-unit apartment building with gross rents about $5,500 a month. The owner had recently renovated the building and was just looking to free up some capital. The property was priced at $407,000 and had a 2-year-old appraisal at $425,000. The current owner had already replaced the roof and done some cosmetic touch-ups to the units. Additionally, the area had already appreciated a little over 3.5% since the appraisal, giving me now an estimated value of about $445,000. Now, I did pay $900 for a commercial property inspection. Yes, I know, $900 is not zero, but just wait, I promise I'll get to that, and everything will add up at the end of the video. The inspection came back with a few minor items, and the seller agreed to rectify those before closing. The deal we agreed to was as follows. I would assume his current commercial loan that he had on the property, and I would put $60,000 down as cash at closing. The seller would then hold a second note for $30,000. Now, of course, we need to get that $60,000. While I did have the money, at the time it was all locked up in stocks, and I didn't feel like liquidating some of my assets there just to cover the $60,000 down payment. I also did not feel comfortable taking that money out of my 6-month emergency fund. Now, looking back, because this was November of 2019, I could have cashed out some of my profit in the stocks and would have saved myself that huge drop in the market February and March 2020. Oh well. Anyways, let's get back to the story. I needed this $60,000 cash, so I spoke to a friend of mine that was interested in investing in real estate, but he didn't exactly have the experience in finding deals. He would put up the $60,000, and together we would purchase the property. Now, I'm sure some is going to start hammering away at their keyboard with comments stating, "Dude, that's not free! It still took money to start this process, and I don't have that kind of money. My friends are broke. You lied to me. Unsubscribe, unlike, hate you." All right. Calm down. You may not realize, but just about everybody has somebody near them that has the extra cash laying around that wants to invest, but they do not have the time or experience to find the deals themselves. Your job is to find these people. Now, as a volunteer paramedic, I meet a lot of doctors, and these doctors all make a pretty comfortable living, and usually they can afford to invest in properties. The problem for them is their schedule at work makes it very difficult for them to go out and find deals on their own. Now, if you guys want me to make a video just dedicated how to find money to finance your deals, comment down below. Tell me some of the ideas that you've already tried that failed or may have worked, and I'll make a video addressing these for you. Now, sharing some, but of course not all, of your profit with your partner or investment is the perfect way to get started when you just do not have the cash yourself. And then honestly, even if you do have the cash, sometimes it is still wise to just use somebody else's money. You also have the option to charge a buy-in fee from the investor, where he pays you X dollars for you bringing the deal to his attention. Now, to address the $900 that I paid for the inspection, I placed this on my Chase Business Inc. credit card and paid that credit card off with my Chase Business checking account. I was able to stack multiple rewards points by opening new Chase accounts to pay off this $900 and walk away with $300 in the process. Check out my video, How I Made $1,200 in 1 hour. The link is in the description below. Now, even if you don't get the money back with some sort of rewards program, in the end, it would not have changed the profit in this deal at all. The only part that matters in real estate investment is your net return. So if you invest $1,000 into a property for 1 year, then you're able to get that $1,000 back, but you still own the property. That is what I think is the essential message here, not the initial $1,000 that you had to spend. Now, I know I've tossed out a lot of numbers in the past few minutes. So how about a quick review of the numbers so far, then I'll give you my full explanation of the deal. Cash down payment and closing costs covered by my partner was about $63,500. The inspection, after the rewards points back to me, gave me $300 in my pocket. The current mortgage was about $323,000, and the seller's second mortgage is $30,000. So now we currently owe $353,000 on a property worth about $445,000. Now, I'm sure there are still some trolls watching right now that if they weren't pissed off enough, they're going to start claiming, but you still have a loan. That's not free money. You have to pay it back. Yeah, duh, of course. The property has a loan on it. But the cash flow that comes in each month pays the mortgage for me. And with historically low interest rates, it's foolish to not maximize your borrowing opportunities from your local bank. Also, I still have not told you how I got paid $10,000. Don't worry, I haven't forgot about this. I'll get to it. But first, it's essential that while I do advocate the smart use of loans to acquire and invest in real estate, you really need to be careful not to become overextended. The financial bubble that we had in the early 2000s was honestly partly due to people borrowing 100% of the property value. They were hoping that property values would continue to increase forever. You know, the problem with this logic is if, and honestly when, real estate prices temporarily go down, you end up owing more money than the property is currently worth. This is commonly referred to as being upside down in a loan. Now, keeping your LTV, that's your loan to value, ratio of less than 80% is vitally important. Now, what I mean by this is for every $100 in appraised value, you only borrow $80. And this, of course, leaves $20 left over as kind of an equity margin to help you buffer in case the value drops a few percentages temporarily. Now, additionally, as I've said in my other personal investment videos, you need to make sure that you have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses sitting in a savings account. This not only needs to cover your personal home mortgage, car payment, and other personal expenses, you need to have additional funds to cover your mortgage for your investment properties. Think of it this way. What happens if a tenant, or heaven forbid, multiple tenants stop paying rent? You know, maybe like something proposed in like the HEROES Act that was recently passed by the House. Whereas in this case, you'd be unable to evict a person for non-payment for at least a year. Now, can you afford to maintain the property? Check out my video all about the HEROES Act for investors. The link is in the description. Now, of course, 1 year, I think, or at least I hope, is an extreme example, and a reasonable 3 to 6 month buffer of money should always be readily available to you before you start leveraging your properties with multiple mortgages. Now, depending on your lender, sometimes they'll even require you show bank statements that can demonstrate you are able to pay the loan for multiple months even if no rent comes in. Long term, the goal for this property for me is to refinance the current 2 mortgages into a single low interest loan at today's amazingly low rates. I will lock this in for 30-year or possibly 15-year fixed rate. Because the existing loan I have assumed has a higher interest rate than what I can get today, I will save about $500 per month on my payment after this refinance, which of course will increase my profit margin. Now, the goal of real estate investing is to control an income generating asset with the least amount of your own personal capital invested as possible. This allows you to invest your money into multiple properties, generating more money in the long run, rather than keeping all of your money tied up into a single property. This also helps to spread the risk if something unforeseen happens to one of your properties. Okay, now, let's get to the point that you've been waiting for. Before I show you how I made $10,000, I want you to pause the video for a second and comment down below with your guess at how I made it. Okay, you're back? Did you make your guess? All right, great. Well, honestly, I already alluded to the answer in this video. When you bring an investor or partner a deal, you can charge them an upfront buy-in fee. The amount varies depending on the size of the deal. However, $10,000 is a reasonable amount to compensate you for your time. Of course, I also own 50% of the building and its net cash flow. Now, excuse the mess here in the studio. I'm currently redesigning things, and I hope to have it finished in a few weeks once some of the deliveries that are on back order finally come in. Now, thank you very much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you on the next one.